Hi everyone and welcome to another video from the GFS gallery. I'm so excited about this one. Something completely different to anything I've ever created before. Really excited to bring it to you guys. We're aquascaping a bowl. I bought this for £4, which is about $6 from my local garden centre. And recently I've been really inspired by a guy called Mark. He has a very fast growing YouTube channel called MD Fish Tanks. I'll leave a link to that up there. And he specialises in low tech, no CO2, easy plants, really super budget friendly aquascapes. I've watched a couple of his videos. They're really, really good and very entertaining, very relaxing actually. It's one of the few aquarium channels that I'm starting to really watch regularly. I've also watched Green Aqua, of course, Yuri's channel. Also keep an eye on King of DIY, of course, Joe Mullen, to see how his aquascaping skills are progressing. But yeah, super inspired by Mark and his creations, and I thought it would be great to bring his style, his methodology to you guys. So no real formal structure to the video. I'm just going to have a play around with some soil, some plants. And I think that's the great thing about this. You know, it's cost me £4 or $6. I've got some leftover soil. I've got plant trimmings from my 1200 or my Flex. And it's virtually zero budget. I've got a cheap light from Amazon, which I'll show you later. It will go on my desktop. I probably won't keep any livestock in there, but we'll talk about all of those details as we go through the video. So I really hope you enjoy this one, guys. Something completely different from me, something super budget friendly. A lot of feedback I get is regarding the cost of things, and maybe some of the scapes I do are a little bit inaccessible. The 1200 behind me is a big investment financially. This is a little bit more kind of budget friendly, but this, I don't think there's anyone that can't afford or be inspired to set something like this up. So really hope you enjoy it, guys. If you do, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell and you'll get notified every time I upload some aquascaping content. So first thing we do is put some substrate in. Now it's worth going into some detail about the substrate. This is a fundamental component to success for our aquascape bowlscape. I don't know what to call it. What should we call it? Let me know in the comments what we should call this scape. Substrate, like any aquascape, performs several functions. It helps to anchor the plants, it feeds the plant roots, it can also harbour loads of beneficial bacteria which are responsible for filtration. So we're not going to be using a mechanical or any kind of electrical filter device on here. We're going to literally rely on the substrate, the plant growth and water changes to keep the system healthy. Mark was saying that we actually put in a little bit of a deeper level of substrate than we normally do because of all these beneficial bacteria to help the ecosystem. Thankfully, I have some mature aqua soil. This is the Tropica soil from my previous Aquascaper 600 setup. Probably just a few handfuls in here should be enough. Because it's mature, it already contains a lot of the beneficial bacteria. It will help kickstart the whole biological processes to hopefully ensure we have a trouble-free startup. Let's take a dive into the soil and put it in there. So I've added our used Tropica soil. Like I said before, this is going to contain lots of beneficial bacteria, which is very helpful, especially for the startup phase where algae is going to be really likely. Now it's time to hardscape, so it's such an easy process. We've got one piece of wood here. Pop that, because it's obviously round, we can put that in the centre so we can view the bowl from all angles. The wood might want to float, so I do have a couple of pieces of Frodo stone here just to kind of weigh it down. That looks okay. And then we can add our plants. Okay, that's the hardscape complete. Now it's time to plant. I think I'm just going to put some stem plants in the back and then maybe some Alanthium tenuilum and hairgrass around the front. So I spoke to Mark. He thinks it's a really good idea to use ready established plants that have adapted to their submerged underwater environment, and they can begin growing hopefully straight away. So I'll jump into the 1200 and I'll just grab a few plants out of there. Well, the Heteranthera zostifolia is overgrown, so it makes sense to use that to start with. And this is a really fast growing, easy plant, so it should do quite well in our bowl. We do actually have some Limnophila hyperoides. It'll be interesting to see how this does. I find trimming plants so therapeutic. Probably more than enough here, so and the 1200 needs trimming anyway, so while I'm here, I might as well make efficient use of my time. Interesting thing is where you trim a stem plant from, wherever you've trimmed from, it will grow 2 new shoots, so it's going to get even more bushy, this aquascape, very soon. I think we've got enough plants here. Let's just choose the nicest specimens. Okay, starting off with our Limnophila hyperoides. This is an easy, fast growing stem plant that will hopefully stay red. Now, this is the first time I've ever planted anything like this, so I am very curious to see how this does. Never had an aquarium with no filter before, but judging from Mark's videos, it is very possible. Planting this is actually some Siamensis 53B, which looks enormous in here. The leaves are enormous. I could do with some finer textured plants, but this is more of an experiment really, and just, you know, almost zero budget. The only thing I've actually spent any money on so far is the bowl itself. And if you have other aquariums at home and you've got some substrate lying around, one of the things Mark does is mixes his soil with sand. I think it just makes it a little less expensive, so you can get more out of your soil. Sand is a lot cheaper. So that's the Hygrophila. Now we're doing the Heteranthera zostifolia. It's really looking a bit jungle-like, isn't it? That's no problem. This experiment doesn't have to look like the most amazing aquascape in the world. Okay, that's the background done. I wonder if we could put a little bit of Anubias just around the mid-ground there. Let's just grab a little bit from the tank. I don't think we're going to notice a little portion missing, are we? Just wedge that in, hopefully. That'll stay there. Okay, now it's time to plant our foreground. Got some Eleocharis Acicularis mini or dwarf hairgrass. Just taking a little bit from the 1200. Now if this grows in here, I will be amazed. This is a medium category carpeting plant, so tends to need a little bit more light, maybe CO2 injection might be required. So we're not adding CO2 and we're not going to have high levels of lighting, so I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't work, but it's worth a try, isn't it? You know, you have to try these things and learn from your efforts, mistakes if you do make mistakes, and have fun. That's the main thing. Definitely having fun with this. And I think it's great that you don't need to spend a lot of money to get so much enjoyment. You know, this is a perfect way to bring nature in your home without costing the earth. Okay, so that's the hair grass in there. Now I do have some Elanthium tenellum as well. Let's grab that. So these have been growing for a few weeks now in the 1200, so they're all adapted to their underwater growth. Okay, that's planting complete. Okay, how cute does that look? Really love it. I'm having such great fun here. Can't believe I've never done this sort of thing before. Time to fill up with water. Do this really slowly, otherwise we're going to cloud the water. About a third of the bowl is soil. Maybe I did put a bit too much in there, but it's a learning curve, and if and when I do another one, I might put a little bit less in there. What do you think? Think there's too much soil in there? Okay, let's fill up with water. Doesn't fit. Okay, using a paper towel this time. This is an old school trick. Prefer the colander. Might have to invest in like a really small colander. Well, that's a disaster. It's completely cloudy. Oh dear, if only we could have used the colander. I think I'm going to have to do a water change. So I need some air line. CO2 line I think we'll use. Nick some off here. This is to prove that we all make mistakes. And the thing is, because the soil has been used before, it's super loose and its potential to cloud the water is very high, as you can see. If we use brand new soil, it'd be a lot less cloudy, but you wouldn't have the beneficial bacteria in there, so no problem. Now it's time to clean around the glass because it's absolutely filthy from the soil. I really do think I need to put finer texture plants in here. We'll have a little chat at the end about the learning points from this. It's going to cloud the water again, I'm sure. I've got an idea. Put this in the sink, have it on really slowly, and then it's going to be doing a constant water change until it's really clear. Let's do that. So let's take it over to the sink. Here we go, the ever increasing water change. So I'm just going to keep running this until it's completely clear. The water is actually dripping onto a stone, so it's not affecting the soil too much. Temperature's fine. Oh, the plant choice is ridiculous. Mark's going to laugh at me when he sees this. So there we have it, guys. The scape is now complete. I've got to say this has been the most fun aquascape I've ever created. Something so different to what I normally do. Plant choice is ridiculous. Hygrophila assignment says 53B in a 1 or 2 litre aquarium, half a gallon, whatever this is. I'm not even sure what the volume is. The plant choice is inappropriate, but I think it still looks okay. I think it looks attractive. It's a slice of nature. It's not designed to be a high-end aquascape. It's designed to, you know, connect with nature. You know, you don't have to have these high-end, expensive, high-maintenance pieces of equipment to enjoy nature. And, you know, I really thank Mark, MD Fish Tanks, for inspiring me enough to create one of these for myself and to show you guys as well. I'm not an expert in this style of aquascaping, as you can tell, but hopefully, you know, it might have inspired you guys to try something for yourselves. You know, nip to your local garden centre or supermarket, grocery store, find a glass container, use some old substrate, use some old plants, use some old hardscape, have a play, buy a cheap desk lamp, stick it on your desk or your bedside table or whatever piece of furniture in your living space, and just enjoy it.